So in this video, we're going to talk about meditations, getting out of body, and stuff like that. I finally have time between my sessions, and like I'm just trying to get back to people, writing back emails and stuff. And let's just check my Instagram. I have a great question over here. I'm gonna answer it. It's about like getting out of body and stuff. So I'm gonna read it over and try to answer it. But yeah, let's go. So, is there a designated time for which I can start having an out of body experience? I feel like my vibration is too low, and I could be vulnerable to harmful entities trying to hurt me. Should I start focusing on doing spiritual work, like awakening and opening my third eye? Is the only way to do this is to meditate. I find it really difficult to meditate for over 10 minutes and it's really boring for me. But I don't know other ways to start my spiritual awakening. Could you provide some tips? So great questions. I really enjoy like talking to people and stuff. So yeah, let's go right into it. Designated time for having an out of body experience. I don't really think that there is such a thing. I think like the experience we were gonna have in out like when we're out will depend on our practice, on who we are, like and how we like are engaging in our like daily life. For example, you can like get out of body and 1 hour of your body being asleep and you being out, like 1 hour here can be a year there. Like that happens a lot for me. I can be asleep for a few hours and until my next like waking up, I'll be spending 5 years over there in another body. And for me it's great. Like I'm really enjoying this like relativity and stuff because during the night I can do a lot. So your experience out there will also like depend on like all kinds of circumstances. You might have a pet in your house. You might get out of body and like it might or like it should be a whole year experience. It should be for a few weeks. But what happens is your dog barks, your cat jumps on you, or like something happens in the house, something follows you. You hear a sound, your body wakes up, and it brings you back. You were out, you were enjoying, you were like, oh, it's a whole week here, and boom, a sound happens in your world. You come back to your body. Like so. When it comes to designated time, there is not really such a thing, and you can do a lot to prolong it. Your experience can be much longer out there, and we can practice and like we can always train. It's like how long can you do push-ups? It depends on how long, like how much strength you have, and you can also like do 10 push-ups right now. You can rest and do 10 push-ups a bit later. You can rest and do 10 push-ups more. You don't have to bang out like a whole 100 right away. Same thing with outer body experience. You can get out here, you wake up, but you can come back to the same experience you were having. So we have like lots of ways to continue our experience. You can come back and keep coming back to the same experience and just keep continuing it, like a story. You're playing a video game, you're watching a movie, you stop it, you go smoke, you go drink, you go to your like bathroom and stuff. You come back and you continue. We can do the same thing when we're getting out of body, but at the same time, we can do all kinds of practices. For example, training our awareness, training ourselves, just paying attention to like our hands, for example. When you're dreaming and stuff, or you being in real world. For example, like when you look at your hands, you look at all the details, all the lines, like you're just paying attention to details. But when you're doing the same thing, like when you're sleeping, when like and you're dreaming, you're trying to be like you're automatically paying more attention. So you can ask yourself questions during the day, like, am I sleeping now, or am I dreaming? Am I awake? Am I aware? And you're asking all these sort of questions, you're paying more attention, but it's like training a habit. And you're creating a new habit that when you're out of body, you can use it simply. But when you dream, you can like literally do it subconsciously without really thinking about it. You're dreaming and like lots of is happening, and automatically you ask yourself, am I dreaming now? Like, because you trained the habit. So now you create the habit of asking yourself that question. You ask yourself like, wait, I am dreaming. And then all of a sudden, from a dream, you move to lucid dream, and then you can pay more attention, like and just try to like really lift your vibration, like pay more attention and become more aware. And that can lift you from like lucid dream to getting out of body or astral projection, and that's great. So that keeping aside, there is no limited time as like how long you can be there. Some people can literally get out of body and never come back if they want to. Like there's always this thing like people get out of body, but depending on where they are, if they're closer to Earth or and stuff like that, they can literally be being pulled. Like the body's like a magnet, and you're trying to go away, but the movement is slower. You're heavier, and stuff happens, and all of a sudden you're being pulled back into your body. Which is why when we get out, for example, we should like try like pacing ourselves and just like thinking far away from Earth. Somewhere where there are no limits, somewhere where your physical body is further away, so it would not start like tracking you back and like, hey, come over here, like you're not supposed to be out. So that happens, and if we can train ourselves to be like, okay, away from Earth, where, like, and then you just like moon or somewhere else, and you just like teleport yourself there, your thoughts, your intention, you're away from Earth, So this this thing alone would sort of prolong your possible experience, because like if you are away from something that can pull you back, great. There can be entities and other beings who don't like you being in the multiverse, and they're like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, and they push you back. That can happen. So, you prolonging your dream, it also depends on the circumstances. There's no limited time, but anything can happen. You can have your dog barking at you or something, and you're gonna wake up. You can have neighbors slamming the doors. You can have something happening in your physical world that wakes you up. But you can also have incidents within the out of body experience, and it doesn't have to be traumatic or anything like big. You can literally have an entity push you back. You see something that's gonna scare you, and it doesn't have to be big. Like, oh, you don't like spiders. You see a spider, you get scared. Like, oh, and like that kind of like intention, that intensity tracks you back into the body, and it's like, oh, you're back. Damn. So no limited time, but we can train ourselves. So training ourselves with and keeping on the tips on what we can do to get out of body and stuff is keeping a dream journal. Keeping a dream journal is really important, and it's one of the biggest things, because now we're training our memory. Some people can get out of body, but if they don't remember, it's as good as not having an out of body experience. So you might have the ability, you might be getting out, but if you don't remember it, you don't know. You don't know if you're getting out or not. So if you keep the dream journal and you write back as many details as you can, as much as you can remember, anything that happened in the dream, like some details of what you did before you had it, because like you can start like tracking patterns. You can keep journal in your life, like okay, every 30 minutes you're gonna give an update of what you're doing, and you're trying to be like a decent human being, you're trying to live a good life, and now you're tracking your time to see how much time are like you using for productivity. So if you wake up like okay 7 a.m. and for 30 minutes you were like browsing the net, for the 30 minutes while you were in bed you were like on your phone and stuff, and you just okay 30 minutes in bed, like so I was like browsing my phone and I got up, and then you spend like 20 minutes 30 minutes getting ready and stuff, but you're just tracking your day every 30 minutes. So you don't have to go on that extent, but like keep details of what you're eating, for example. What did you eat before you went to sleep? What kind of activities did you have during the day? Like maybe you were exercising. Maybe you went like for like I don't know, like swimming or something. Maybe you found something that like sort of lifted your spirits up. Maybe you lifted your vibrations somehow. Like keep those notes of what you think that could have affected you, because once you start keeping the notes, not just your dream, but also things you did before and what happened after the dream, you can start finding patterns of what is the thing that helps you to have an out-of-body experience, that what helps you to get into the lucid dream state and stuff. Because some people can literally go jogging and they will get more oxygen, they will lift their vibrations, and they go to sleep at some point, but that jogging alone will sort of help them to like lift their vibrations and be in a state where they can literally get out of body easier. And various activities. Some people can be playing video games and like you're playing Borderlands 3 or something, and or Assassin's Creed or whatever game, and you're jumping from a really tall building. You're jumping, and for a few seconds because you're afraid of height or something, you can have that, oh my god, and your character is falling, but at the same time you felt like your body is being tracked. And that sort of thing like sort of triggers as if you had the consciousness and you were out of body and you were literally like falling, and you've had this sort of experience. Your body's like sitting, nothing happened, but you felt like you were like falling down. So this sort of sensation, this sort of thing that happened might be the key point. Maybe that little thing will sort of trigger something in your body, in your subconscious spine, and what happens is that when you go to sleep, that little thing, that trigger of falling, what happens is that you're laying in bed, but your consciousness feels like falling, and you go below the bed, and now you're at the neighbor's place, like, hey, my body's upstairs, what the hell? And anything can happen, so keep a dream journal, like tracking of what you did during the day, some details of what you think can be contributing to that thing. Diet is a big thing, like, what we eat and how we behave during the day, our activities, a little track, like, you don't have to go fully, like, every single detail, no, just, like, key points of what you think that could have been a part of it. And then the dream, like as much as you can remember, the better. So if you can find, all of the details, like the colors and the sensations and what you saw and how it went, the more you can remember, the more you can write back, the better memory you're going to have. So once you start building the memory, you will have more awareness. Now, next time you're having a dream, all of a sudden, automatically, because you were writing down your dreams, you start paying attention. And now, since you are automatically paying more attention, you become more awake and aware. So from simple dream, you move to a lucid dream state, like, hey, and you're all of a sudden you are aware that you're dreaming. all of a sudden you are aware that it's a lucid dream. You have the control. You've been paying attention to the details. You've been tracking everything. Your memory's getting better. And all of a sudden the doors opens up for you and you have the ability to go from dream to lucid dream to getting out of body. It's pretty simple, like, just with that. So a dream journal is very, very important. And also, like, you can track as if what you do after you wake up. Like, okay, I like, this is what I did during the day. This is my dream. You write it back, and then this is how I feel after I woke up. Some people can have nightmares. Some people can wake up and like feel intense or like some energy, some sensations in the body. Like, oh, I woke up with like my arm aching. I woke up with a headache and stuff. Track that down as well. You might have had some incident during the night that you don't remember that caused it. And if you can keep the memory and then keep the track, like, okay, this is what I ate. This is what could have triggered it. Activities could have triggered it. Something. But if you can keep the track, you will see the patterns that affect it. So every day will be kind of different. But all of a sudden, like, you can like track back. Okay, whenever I'm jogging, I'm having more lucid dreams. Whenever I'm smoking, my vision is cloudy in my dream and stuff. Like, all kinds of things can happen. So just keep a track of it. And moving on, you can also keep the fake dream journal. And it's like law of attraction. You don't have out of body experiences. You don't really remember your dreams and stuff. And you're like, okay, I remember. Like, it's just impossible for me to get out. Like, what the hell? What do I have to do? And you're like so tired with meditation and other things. What is your thing? Like, just, so law of attraction thing would be keeping your dream journal, and you just write down an out of body experience that you want to have. So what you do is like, okay, you just open your journal and you start writing, today I got out of body and it was the best experience of my life. I felt this way, and you just like describe how you felt and what you saw and what kind of experience you've had, and you just improvise. You just create what you want to have. But what happens is that somewhere deep inside, you are building the belief that you can get out of body. You're building the belief that you are able to do that. You're building the belief that you did that. Like, it actually happened. You wrote it down. This is your dream. You just recorded it. Your dream, your OOBE, your astral projection, like anything. When that happens, usually scientifically it's been counted and stuff that it usually, whenever we're trying to use law of attraction and stuff, it takes about up to 3 days for us to manifest it. So whatever you did like 3 days ago, you might have been feeling pissed off, you might have been like did something, and today you're bummed out. You had thoughts about like, oh, I'm unlucky, I just can't find a job, and today you just can't find a job anywhere. Like, no one's accepting you. So, hey, today you're writing down, like, I had an out-of-body experience. I had this and that. And you just expand it. You create any kind of story you want to have. Like, what kind of out-of-body experience would you like to have? Just write it down. Just dream it up. Like, think about it. Imagine it. And once you put it out in the journal, it's okay. Just let it go. You wrote it's like homework, You write down your exercise. Like, okay, I did this and that. And you're just being creative. And you put it down. You're not trying to get it. You just like write down your experience and you let it go. But what happens is that somewhere deep inside you're building that like belief that you are available, that you can do it, that it actually happened. And 3 days later or sometime, like since you've been writing and like recording it, like fake dream journal, fake OOBE journal, but what happens is that you get out. Like, it literally was the thing that pushed you to get out of body. So if you dream, if you have memories, write it down. If you don't remember stuff, but you really want to get out, keep the fake dream, like dream in the OOBE journal. Just write it down, like whatever you want to have, and you can manifest that easily. So keeping that aside, there are tons of other things that you can do to get out of body. One thing is like just when you go to bed and you're like too tired to meditate and stuff, try counting backwards. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is easy enough. But like, okay, go 1,000, go 10,000, and you go, okay, 10,000, 9,999, and you just keep counting backwards. What happens is that you're laying still and like you're just counting, but your body starts falling asleep. Your consciousness stays more aware in a way, because like counting backwards is a bit harder than the forward. So you're taking your time to counting it, and you can choose like whatever number you want. The bigger the better. Just like keep yourself busy. And while your body falls asleep, your consciousness is aware and awake, and you're doing the process, and all of a sudden you just notice that all of a sudden you can move, and all of a sudden like, oh, okay, I'm more like, you have weird sensations, and you're just like trying to move yourself a little bit. Like, don't start moving all the sudden, like just don't go crazy, but like move your toes, move your fingers a little bit, see if the physical body's not moving, but it feels like you can actually move, and try just imagining that you can lift your astral hands, astral body. So lift yourself slowly, not the whole thing, but just like slow little finger by finger, like toes and like legs and arms, and slowly get up. And people can literally count backwards and get themselves out of body slowly, and that's the thing. Another thing you can try, which is pretty simple, if I don't know, you're into jewelry and stuff, take it off. Necklaces, rings, clothes, sleep naked. Hey, it's awesome. If hey, girls can sometimes, but like if you're available and stuff, try sleeping naked. Try not having anything, because subconsciously and stuff, you can literally having the rings and stuff, or like whatever necklaces you might have, your rings, earrings, whatever. It will put some weight on you, so you can like literally, okay, I'm available, I can get out, but all of a sudden like you're stuck. This necklace is like, oh, it's too like weight's too much, like I can't get out, like I'm stuck. Fuck, So all of these things, if you can literally uh take it off, see if it helps. You don't have to not wear it and like every time you go to sleep, but just take it off from time to time. See if it helps, because sometimes it's the thing that like holds you back. So if you can take it off, okay, I'll put it in the morning, I'll put it whenever, and you just put it away and you go to sleep. Next day you wake up and all of a sudden that was the thing that helped you get out of the body. So it's a possibility. One of the biggest things is our diet, and like it's a huge contribution to getting out of body. People who eat more like greens and like veggies or fruits and stuff like that, like they have much higher vibration, which helps them to get out of body, helps them to like stay away from entities and stuff. So try that. I'm just giving information. You do whatever you want with it. I'm not saying that you have to change your diet completely and stuff. If you love meat, go with your thing. Like if it's good for you, cool. I've seen people who've been talking like, oh my god, I eat like veggies, I've been vegetarian, and now they're demonizing thing like that, like whole thing. They're saying how bad it was for them, but at the same time, the meat and dairy products will have much more entities to it, because just like humans have entities, animals have it as well. And once we consume it, we get it as well. So it's a contribution, but you have to try out what works for you. Try changing it up. If it doesn't work, awesome, go back to normal. If you might see like, hey, I just like had a different diet and I woke up feeling better, might be a thing. I don't know, like try it out. One of the biggest factors is supplements like B6, vitamins, ZXR, like supplement, like nootropics, like all kinds of that. Some people use like drugs, like drugs. Weed, like they use weed. There's also like mushrooms, and there's ayahuasca, or like however you say that. So I've heard it also helped. I've tried only weed. For me, it didn't really affect me. I was just like having fun. Like for an hour, it was just everything was funny and I was feeling light and stuff. But that's where it ended. Like it didn't change up my ability, because for myself, I was working all year long and I was working like really, really hard on getting out of body, like an hour or two a day. So for me, I worked up my ass off to the point where I don't really have to try to get out of body. But I've noticed that I cannot get out of body if I watch movies, for example. If before bed I am watching movies, I'm watching TV and stuff, TV like TV shows and stuff, um, that will affect me. So like you're getting an automatic stimulation. So you have your movies, you have your TV shows, you have your games, you have your videos. You watch it before your bed, you already got a stimulation. The brain doesn't have to work anymore. You're trying to get out of body, but you were just chilling before going to bed. Now all of a sudden you had a simulation, the brain doesn't have to work, and you tune out, and it's not gonna help you. So it's one of the things that I noticed, like it's stopping me from getting out of body, which is like I'm really paying attention of when am I doing what. I'm not a big movie person or TV like into TV shows, but like from time to time, for example, when Rich was here in Lithuania, we watched a thing or two together, and like we were watching the Project Blue Book. It's a pretty good TV show, like with a good self-disclosure regarding like aliens, UFOs, and stuff like that. You can watch it too. But like when I watched like 2 episodes a day, it was like it really messed up my ability. Like I watched like 3 days of 2 episodes a day, and it really cracked up my ability, and I couldn't get out of body for like 3-4 days. So that had an effect on me, and I had to like stay away from that stuff like for a week, and I was back to getting out of body, and like yay, I was good again. So pay attention. You might be like you go to bed at night and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to sleep now. And you're scrolling on your phone, and all of a sudden you have all of these things. You're playing games, you're like looking at Instagram, you're looking at stuff. You're just trying to fall asleep, trying to get sleepy. But that's the thing, like the blue light, the like electromagnetics and stuff, it's keeping your brain busy. And what happens is that like it sort of like cracks up your ability to get out of body or have an astral projection. So try paying attention and try like at least an hour before bed, take a break. Don't watch TV, stay away from the monitors, don't look at your phone. Okay, you set your clock, you have to get up, put it away. Put it away somewhere where you can reach it when you go to bed. And that would be a great thing if it's possible for you. Like some people are like, hey, I'm waiting for a message, so this person has to write to me, and you're just like really clinging on your phone because you love it. But if you have the ability, put your phone far away, like just like somewhere where you can reach, where you cannot reach when you are in bed, and that's the thing that helps. So like pay attention to that. Like also, I noticed like for example when I ate more meat products, like I had like chicken and like I had like chicken burger and stuff. That affected my ability. I had like meat and I couldn't get out of body that night. So I'm paying attention. Like I cannot eat dairy products. I cannot eat meat products, and that like really pays up my part when I'm trying to get out of body. So I'm shifting like back to my normal diet, back to where like veggies, fruits, and like all the good supplements and stuff. All of a sudden, I'm better. I can get out of body. So like being aware of that, like I know a lot can happen if you're like, just trying to do enemas, acupuncture. Uh, Emotional freedom tapping. This is a great one. Like I was thinking about making a separate video on that one, but like, hey, it's a long video. You might watch it and stuff. So when it comes to emotional freedom tapping, we have these points in our body. Like we're tapping on our head. We're tapping right here, under our eye, under our nose, like here, and like all these points where we can tap. It's like acupuncture, but you're doing it with your fingers and you're just tapping the place. So what happens is that like when it comes to emotional freedom tapping, we're choosing an issue in our life, and like you're having fears, like I'm afraid of heights, and you're focusing on being afraid of heights. Like I'm afraid of heights, I'm just afraid of heights, I hate being on tall places, I cannot handle it. And what you're doing is like you're just trying to focus on your fear of heights, and you're tapping it, and what happens is that you're getting an emotional release from it. So you tap it out and it passes, and you get the release, and all of a sudden it's not like your fear is gone forever, but it becomes easier and much easier to handle, and your emotions towards it like start changing up. But all of a sudden like your subconscious mind is getting the freedom. And I was watching this video, like the uh, the or like the creator of this method, like he was making a video, and he talked about how he's changing his method up, and from just focusing on one part, now he's naming all of the issues. So what you can do is like, okay, getting out of body, I cannot get out of body. I cannot get out of body. I never get out of body. I just like I'm really bad. I don't remember my dreams. And what you do is like you're naming all of your issues. You focus on everything. Like I'm too tired to keep a dream journal. I don't like meditation. I'm too bored when I'm meditating. And anything that has to do with you getting out of body, you're focusing on all those parts. And you're just tapping the point out. So with me just showing this part, like there's a whole lot more. There's like under your armpit, under like your like your yeah about there. So there's also like finger points, like like you're just tapping the sides, like over here, like all the taps. I think your wrist, you can like tap your wrist and stuff. So like all of that, you can just Google EFT, emotional freedom tapping, and you're just like you can see all the signs and all the points where you need to tap. So you focus on your issue, and it can be anything. It can be regarding your health. It can be regarding out of body. Try it. Just look up the technique. Look up the creator. He has like lots of great videos and information. You don't necessarily have to use it for getting out of body experience, like and just like all that. But if you have any kind of issues in life, if you have fears, if you have health issues and stuff, tap yourself. It doesn't take much. You're gonna like be worried anyway. So like why not? Like okay, yeah, I'm worried. Like this person is just coming back home, and he's late and I'm not feeling so good. And you're just like, any kind of issue you have, just tap it. Like, see what happens. See if it helps you. So that's something to look into. So just like when you want to get out of body, see what kind of issues you have. You might have fears. You might have like some beliefs. You might have some agreements. Just think about it, name it, and tap it. And if other people are in the room, if you're feeling awkward, like talking to yourself, do it inside your mind. Like there, you don't have to talk out loud. Like okay. And you're thinking inside, like your head, you're just naming what it is, and you're just like doing that release work. So look at the points, EFT, look it up, like see the points and tap it, see if it helps. And something to try, like it doesn't take much. That thing I said, it's a long video. I'm not even sure if I'm answering the right questions, but like there are tons of things people can do to get out of body. One of the things when we want to prolong our OOBEs or our dreams and stuff and just stay there longer, try spinning. What you're doing is like this is the floor and you're standing right here. So what you do is like you're starting spinning in one place. You're just like turning here and like you're just spinning around like one place another place, and what happens is that like you are literally throwing your consciousness out. So doing it here, you can like literally practice, but if you're like lucid dreaming and you're feeling like you're gonna wake up, starts spinning. It literally spins you out and like keeps you longer in that place. So it's something to try out. Like I think it's great. There are like lots of variations of what we can do. I'm just like tons of tips I can give, and I'm just like, whoa, too many things to name. And this video is like already 25 minutes long, and I'll have a session soon. So I might start wrapping it up. I think one of the key points without, like, apart from diet and the whole like staying away from monsters and stuff and the food and like little techniques. Yeah, the dream journal. When it comes to dream journal, you can write it down. If you are too tired to wake up, like, oh, I really can't, and like, you're just too tired, you're just too lazy to do that. Like, admit it. You have your phone close by. If you're doing it, just record it. You might have an MP3 recorder thing. If you're sleeping with another person, tell them what you dreamed about. Just wake them up, like, hey, I had this dream, like, listen up. And it might be silly as can be. Like, I just like had a dream about my grandpa showing up and just giving me ice cream. Doesn't take much, but you shared it. You're sharing it, like, you will have a better memory yourself. So like, there are variations of how you can record it. You can tell, like, you can share it with other people. You can do it on your like audio recorder. You can literally just write it down. So whatever way is good for you, do it. But don't try to think like, oh yeah, I will remember it. Cool. You won't. You will wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you start thinking about life and it takes away and like, yeah, cool. Do you remember your dream now? A dream you had like 3 days ago? It might have been a great dream, but like you don't remember all of them, and you should. So don't think that you're just gonna remember everything. Try to keep a journal. Try to record it somehow. Like share it, all that stuff. One of the best things I think I can recommend to do is quiet mind. When you wake up in the morning, like you just had a dream, or you just woke up, try having quiet mind. Don't think. Quiet it up. Like just you have all the day to think about anything, but don't do the first few minutes in the morning. If you wake up, just try not to think about anything, just try to relax, breathe. But what happens is that when we keep the quiet mind, when we wake up, is that we allow the dreams to come back. So you wake up and you're trying not to think, you're just breathing and you're just relaxing, but the dreams, the memory comes back by itself. So it's a great thing. Like if you want to have better recall, try having a like quiet mind when you wake up, and it really like helps you out. One of the things like people have been trying to do is like pretending that they are dead. So you can literally wake up and like, oh yeah, and you literally pretend that you dropped dead. But what happens is that your consciousness believes like, oh, I'm dead. Like yeah, woo, and it goes out. So you wake up, you pretend that you're dead, you just drop dead. Don't stop breathing. It's just like, no, it doesn't happen. Like you just don't do that. Like you can breathe, but just pretend that you're dropping dead. Like somehow, like there are like lots of ways. You don't have to fall on the floor. Just like just go on the pillow and like whatever you can think of. But what happens is that you literally believe that you're dead, and you get out. You have the freedom, and you don't get out fully like forever. Of course you can. If you have the ability, if you want to, you can like leave and never come back. But if you want to come back, sure, awesome. And some people like were attracted by the whole gravity and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to get away. But just pretending that you're dead can literally bring you back into your dream, into your out of body experience, and like give you the freedom to leave again for at least for a short period of time. And it's worth trying. So with all that, there's probably more questions, but I should start wrapping this video up and probably make like more. Like part 2, part 3 of this whole thing. So yeah, I'm just like looking at the comment section, I mean like the question, and see if I answered a lot or a few things. But yeah, okay, I'll end it off here. I have a session coming up, but like I want to expand and make more about all of these points. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Like share your tips. Like what are you doing to get out of body? What are some of the things that you have used? And one thing I need to mention is that when it comes, I talk about my OOBEs and like how easy it is for me, is because for a whole year I've been working every single day for hours and hours, and it was just something to do. I really wanted it. I had time, and I just did it. And you can try practicing it too. You don't need to have the whole day. You need to have all the hours. All you need is to have a few minutes. And for a few minutes, what you do is you ask yourself, am I dreaming now? Am I asleep? Am I awake? And like you're just asking yourself questions. But what happens is that you're training yourself and creating habits of what you're gonna do when you fall asleep and when you start dreaming. So you're asking these questions like, am I dreaming now? And you fall asleep and you are in a dream. But the habit you created, the question that you ask yourself during the day, which is easy. You're sitting in a bathroom. Ask yourself, am I sleeping now? Am I dreaming? Like, it's easy as can be because you're in the bathroom, you're in the car, you're doing something. Ask yourself a question. It's easy as can be. Do it. Just do it. So once you do that, and you train yourself to ask a question, just ask it as often. Like, you don't have to repeat every single time, but ask it from time to time. Just like, okay, you're eating dinner, and like, people on the table, and you're eating, and you ask, like, in your mind, you just stop, like, am I dreaming now? Is this real? And you're creating the habits. So when you're dreaming, you will subconsciously start doing that. And in the dream, because you created a habit, you will start like, am I dreaming now? Wait, wait a minute. Yeah. And this will wake you up. So try out these things. Let me know if any of these helped you, and like what kind of things have you done to get out of body, and like practices that you've done. I'll do part 2, part 3, or however many parts I'm gonna do. But like there are tons of things we can do to get out of body. We do not have to meditate. We do not have to do such grand things. There are simple everyday tips that you can try, and applying them, practicing them every day might help. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.